Oh, right, all right, all right. Bunny in the bottom right side of the map, Maru in the top left. And it is a TVT to start off PiGFest, guys. TVT of the ages, Maru, the monster, the favorite, the man who people said was washed. And do you know what happens when you get really washed, guys? You become glassy, glassy smooth, and people can't pin you down. And that's what's happened recently. Maru has been murdering. He had one of the most impressive tournament runs ever recently, just last weekend, beating Clemen, one of the best TVP series I have ever seen. He does lose that trade, loses one SCV. One of the best TVP series I've ever seen against Clem's Protoss. The first time we've seen them face off in a tournament. He barely beat him. It was a close series. It was hard fought. The Maru got him with really clever strategies and timings. And then he dominated Raynor and Saril to become the champion over at the Luli tournament. I mean, what a run that was for Maru. And it really was so very impressive. He's going to finally come in here and get a bit of revenge. Gets the SCV there. Now, he's actually gone for a double gas build, guys. You'll notice his command center is a bit later. Actually, no, this was a 1-Rax as well. Wait, oh, this is 1-Rax 3cc after factory? Wait a second. I saw Percival try this the other day against Beyond. He got mauled, but that was not a good game from him. Oh, this is awesome. What was that? Camera's gone. Oh, we've got some default hotkeys activating as well. Okay. All right. I don't know what button just went and changed that. But sorry, guys. We are running into some tech issues here. For those who don't know, day one of a tournament's always a bit sloppy. Earlier today, our main PC completely died. Going to try and have that up for day two, hopefully. Might need a fresh Windows install. We'll see what goes on. But we are on a secondary PC. I thought I had everything set up, but it turns out there are some default OBS hotkeys in here. I don't even know which hotkey I pressed. I think it's probably these ones. Yes, it is. It's that one. Okay. All right. As long as I don't rotate my camera to the side, because insert is changing our scene over onto the in-game. That's something I can fix up after this game. Our lovely producer, Dot's going to remind me. She's going to come in here at the moment this game is over and remind me to change that. Otherwise, I will forget, because that is a regular button we use for doing player intros. Reaper's going to dance around the main. Hellions will clean it up. And the third command center is up pretty quickly for Bunny as well. This here is an economic arms race, guys. It is going to be a Raven opening for both sides. Quicker third command center for Maru, who's reacted to the 1-Rax expand with just massive greed. And Bunny himself has also now gone, well, I can play super greedy too. This is essentially going to be two guys just building up Ravens, tanks, Marines. The double upgrades of the engineering bays will be going down in a little while now that they're going 4 gases. And of course, the second and third barracks, so they can eventually get into stim. One of these barracks will go in this tech lab, start stim and then shields. And suddenly at about 9 minutes into this game, maybe 10 minutes, you're going to have stim, shields, a decent pack of Marines. Ravens are going to be juiced up on energy. Maybe there's a clash before then. I mean, usually one player wants to try and act a bit scary. But actually overwhelming the opponent only really works if the opponent makes a mistake. You're going to see maybe 3 tanks, 3 Ravens is usually a natural moment to see if you can get the spells down before your opponent can. Tank not quite able to get the shot off there for Bunny, and Bunny is slightly behind now in that unit's lost after dropping that Hellion. Ravens coming forwards. Double engineering bay upgrades are on the way for Maru right now. You can see the upgrades a bit behind for Bunny. And Bunny's stuck being defensive, which in this sort of TVT is a much more difficult situation. Viking production coming out for both sides. This is a very slow technical war. This is not going to be a game decided by mass Marine, at least not anytime soon. It's about the tanks, it's about the Viking air control, and most of all, it's about where these Raven spells land. If you can interference matrix the other guy's tanks, his core unit, he's going to struggle. Only one tank coming in. Maru not even sieging up, just kills 2 SCVs and backs away. It's a low-risk maneuver. The moment you siege, you're locked in, because then if he matrixes you, you can't walk away. But as long as you're unsieged, if he interference matrix your tanks, you can just walk away. So Maru's doing a really good job of non-committal pressure. Oh, I love this move for Bunny, though. Catches their Hellion, split off, spots it coming, and he is completely safe as a result. 1-1 upgrades coming in for Bunny behind his own 4th and 5th barracks. He's going to round out his defenses. Some players would be afraid of a drop in the main or something like that, but Bunny hasn't been too stressed about it. He's going to quickly rotate to the right. Shouldn't pull his whole army, though. And Maru going to trade these Hellions off, realizing these are an early game unit. Tanking the Cyclone. We'll minimize the damage to about 7 SCVs, though, which I think is acceptable. Obviously, Maru's ahead, and I think Maru might even be tempted in this sort of game to build a 4th command center before 2nd factory. Bit of a wild choice, but definitely one he could choose to take. He's actually forgotten Stim. Maru made his Stim very late in this game. You can see Stim's already about to finish for Bunny. Bunny can make combat shields and then build a factory on this tech lab. And Bunny's already putting some depots on the edges, just in case there are drops that sneak by. Notice it's only 2 medevacs for each side, 2 for Maru, and he's gone back to Vikings. The first 2 medevacs for Bunny. The reason is you just want to heal up your Marines after a Stim, but in this sort of game, it's whoever has control of the skies can kind of dictate who has vision, and you could try to shoot down the enemy Ravens before the fight starts. Now, this is what I would argue is the worst version of TVT. And the reason is the interference matrix. Basically, the reason this is one of the most solid, best ways to play TVT at the high level is the Raven, if you do commit to a siege up, they interference matrix you and crush your army, right? It's such a good unit, and it's so good against so many things because you can drop auto turrets as well. It's very hard to use correctly, so at non-pro levels, not as big of a problem. But at this level, if both players are going to go triple Raven, it's really hard to attack. We're finally seeing Bunny making a non-committal move. Don't boost into the Vikings! No, Bunny! Oh, unfortunate timing for him, and also just amazing timing for Maru to recognize that was happening right then. Oh, that was really well done. So far, it looks like we haven't got any major tech issues, guys. Honestly, I figured even though I did some stress tests and checked out the stream before, I figured once we went live, there'd be a few more technical glitches coming through. But it is what it is. I'd say we're doing pretty well and performing above expectations. But like I said, we should be back to 1440p for tomorrow's games. But Group A, going to be completely here in 1080p. Big Marine move around the right side. But Bunny left plenty of units at home. Siege is just 2 tanks. I like the lack of panic there. Just really calm play. His 4th command center comes in. 3 more barracks and a 2nd factory for Maru. Maru's actually into medevac production now. So Maru not committing straight to like 2-port Raven or anything like that. A bit more of mobile games. Got to get out of there. Good boost on the medevacs to escape. Look at this. Just Marine spotters everywhere. Units lost tab. 300 in favor of Maru. And no one wants to play late game against Maru. He's the king of late game generally. And yet these days, everyone's so good at late game. It feels like Maru is not as far ahead of the curve as he used to be. It used to be impossible for anyone to ever take a map off him in late game. These days, I think if it goes end game, he's just got better understanding than anyone else of like how to use, I don't know, weird mass Raven. I was going to say battlecruiser tech switches. I don't think that's really a thing because Ravens counter them so hard. But I think he's definitely got this like really deep knowledge of how to utilize the orbitals, the positioning, the bank in the late game. And even if he loses a few fights, we know in TVT a lot of the time players get on his production and it should be a checkmate, but he finds a good fight and ruins them. Bunny stims forward. Lots of scans. You can see Bunny's the one trying to force something to happen. And much like Fetch, Maru is not letting this attack happen just yet. Anti-armor missile does land. 5th command center going down here as well. So it's 4 base against 4 base. Bunny's going up to 6 command centers. Bunny's 8 racks coming in a little bit later. His 2-2s finishing. And look at that guy's double port. So he's going to go double port a little bit earlier as Bunny. Maru committing a bit more to the medevac tank Marine. Oh, here we go. Big fight. He catches Bunny in the open. Oh, the Marines are stuck behind his siege tanks. It's a disastrous positioning for Bunny, but he gets really good interference matrices. His Marines finally get forwards, but it does not matter when your tanks are in a line like that and your Marines get trapped behind them. That is not what you want. Maru jumps on top and Bunny lets down his guard. He thinks, I'm the captain. I'm in control of this ship. And of course, Maru points that AK at his head and says, no, I am the captain now. The Marine tank Viking coming out. He's going to pick up. I think that was a misclick. Yes, it was. Oh, he's going to siege right in his face. Crazy move for Maru, but as long as he overwhelms, it could work out. He's just got too much of a firepower advantage. If he clears those 2 tanks, that's all he needs. And indeed, he does just that. He's got this command center in range. It will go down. The Marines could potentially work their way to the south. North is a planetary, but down south is another exposed command center building. 2 starports are building for Maru. Look at that. Ooh, there's 2 more tanks in reserve. Bunny might eventually hold on, but losing 2 command centers here is so much damage, not to mention 5,000 resources. And now these tanks are in range of the command center. I mean, this is a disaster. It's an absolute disaster. Bunny's going to hang in here because there's always a chance you bring it back. But keep in mind, he also hasn't started 3-3. 3-3 is almost done for MARU, which is massive. Oh, he's just going to break him. He knows there's not enough units here. He scans and he's like, where's your army? Bunny, of course, sneaking SCVs out north, trying to take that base. He just doesn't have that much army to hold this with. MARU realizes he can just push in, clear the tanks, and take care of it. Hits right before his own 3-3 finishes, but it does not matter. MARU looking cool, calm, and collected, and Bunny regretting playing the macro game against MARU. All right, guys, MARU in the top right, going for the double gas here on White Rabbit in game 2. Bunny looks like he's going to go one racks expand again. And this is so interesting because I have seen players, even against Beyond, the guy who proxy barracks almost every game, and yet they're going one racks expand against him a lot. And this tells me there is a very greedy meta going on in the Korean TVT metagame, and that's really fascinating. Now, this SCV goes out, looks like it's just checking that he's not being all in. There's no proxy barracks, nothing like that. It's a very safe opening for Bunny. Whilst MARU, he's going to be a bit more blind. But I wonder if just seeing the SCV, he can infer, you're doing one racks expand. Because there are certain players where they'll only SCV scout if they're doing one racks expand. Cure is one of the few guys who will go double gas and send an SCV scout across the map. These guys, no, they don't look that similar. They've just got the same similar haircut. That's all, with the bowly cut. That's all. MARU is very, very different face shape to Bunny there. MARU didn't forget his God mode today. I think you guys are correct. He's looking very good. I mean, he looked so good. It's such a big performance for him over the weekend. And to get the Serral monkey off his shoulder, the guy that's dominated him in so many tournaments over the last few years, it's just such a big change. You know, there was like a 3-year streak where it wasn't that MARU lost to Serral, because a lot of people do. It's that he would get dominated by him and look afraid when he was playing him. And he would admit that he would play bad and he would get thrown off, and he was kind of intimidated playing Serral because it built up. Like, he's like, oh god, this guy always beats me, and then he'd play worse because of that, which happens a lot in StarCraft. It's such a mental game. And I think to beat Serral the way he did just the other day is really awesome. You know, really fantastic. And I think he's feeling very confident right now. He's going to put on some pressure. Just one Marine in the bunker. Not going to run the gauntlet. There are 2 Marines and a Reaper on the high ground guarding the ledge. Nice economic build for Bunny. I do wonder how quickly Bunny takes this gas on the natural. And MARU's gone 3rd CC again, guys. I guess it makes sense because he saw one racks expand again, but man, one has to wonder, in this sort of matchup, if Bunny does a 3 Raven, 3 tank push, just with a bunch of Marines, and especially if he delays his 3rd command center to pump Marines out of the reactor barracks, I think that timing should be absolutely brutal. Let alone, what if he goes a 2nd starport and takes a quick gas here, maybe a 4th gas even, gets a 2nd starport, does a tank Viking push. I feel like there's some real options. Yeah, 4 gas. Bunny's going to do a tank Viking push. I feel like MARU's build should on paper be very weak to this. Man, my TVT casting and play is so rusty because I haven't really been grinding Terran much on ladder. And when I do, I'm kind of just doing cheesy builds and that sort of stuff lately, guys. But, there we go. Feels like drag scrolls really fast. I don't know why. There we go. That's a bit better, I think. Just felt like it was a little bit too quick before. That feels a little bit smoother. There we go. All right, 2nd and 3rd barracks. He's going to do the 3cc pure bio. So MARU is basically playing the greediest build ever, guys. No tanks. He gets 1 Cyclone, a few Reapers and Hellions, and he says, as long as my opponent doesn't realize what I'm doing, I'm just going to speed run, stim, double upgrades, Metavax, Mass Marine, and I'm doing this off of a greedy 3rd. So he's like, look, if I get up to stim, shields, 1-1 upgrades, 30-40 Marines, I basically, like, I just kill any army in the open. And even if you push, but I know I see the push coming, and I've got stim, and I pull SCVs and engage you before you siege up with like an SCV pull and stim, then I wreck you. And that would work really well if Bunny waited for another tank and a few Ravens, but Bunny's not. Bunny's going Viking live tank, and he's going right now. If MARU manages to find a way to win this game, guys, we're giving him Wizard of Terran, Lord Archmage of Magic, I mean, he needs to shoot a portal gun on the ground and have Bunny's whole army fall through. I do not know how you stop this with 5 Marines, a Cyclone, and 2 Reapers. Bunny's going to run in here. Does go in a bit ahead of his siege tanks, which gives Maru a few seconds, but Maru has to pull the boys. He doesn't have stim. Oh, he does force the siege, though. Good movement there for Maru. And now he can buy time for a few Marauders to pop out. He's so desperate. It's such a bad spot. Bunny should really get in there, though. I guess Bunny's got Vikings and Libs coming, so he doesn't really feel any pressure because he's like, well, you're just going to be pinned. But maybe Maru could pick up, move out with a drop, and like cut off his units from behind. I think I'm coping. I think this is just a build order checkmate, guys. If Maru, I mean, Maru's build was beyond greedy. So greedy. And Bunny will get rewarded for being assertive here. He's going to deny that natural, should be able to kill it. Oh, maybe not, actually, the mass repair. But if he's mass repair, he's got nowhere to land. Needs to bring some Marines or a Cyclone to push these Vikings back. Command Center is burning right now. Lib's going to move in. The tanks are going to move right up to this ledge, which actually gets you in range of almost the main Command Center. Double drop moves out the south side. Maru, good choice there. And look at Maru's face, guys. Devastated. Can't believe what's happening. I'm kidding. He knew when he played this build, it was greedy. And he knows this is a build order loss. He flipped a coin. And he got the losing side, and he's trying to do a Maru and find a way to win despite flipping the wrong side of the coin. Maru is one of those few players who's been able to pull this sort of thing off in the past. This position seems impossible, but he's going to patiently kind of sit here, look for mistakes from his opponent, force Bunny to play perfectly. He's going to try and maybe flank in from behind that full bunker. Guarding against the flankers, so good. And look how deep these tanks are. They're literally in range of the command center and the gas, which is just insane. Cyclone does deny the bunker there. Double Drop's waiting to cut off the reinforcement, but Bunny's rallied at home, and he's transitioning into his own third command center and barracks and stim. Vikings are going to land on the high ground. The tanks are going to shred the SCVs. The Marines stim in from behind. You can see the bunker does such a great job of holding them off. Maru, shockingly, is going to break out. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's dead. But I didn't think he'd even break the position, guys. I'm impressed. Good surround, good break. Does have a third command center over there where a Liberator was denying mining. He was trying to get some sneaky mining. The Liberator's going to fly in his main as well. Oh, every bit of mining is so deadly right now. He's got to unload his Marines from the other side of the map here. Bring those back. The Lib will go to the corner. Such a greedy build order, guys. Good thing Bunny punished him, because this is one of those series where I'm sure people look at it and go, why play so risky? But Maru always plays risks. He mixed gambles in. And I always think that's been one of the, historically, the best way to play Terran is if you're willing to mix in an occasional really greedy build and an occasional all-in proxy barracks. And Maru's always mixed both of those in. Like, Maru's always played, I think, a very dynamic style of Terran in that regard. And even when I've been most critical of Maru's form, it's mostly been, you know, an inability to multitask his way through the mid-game that's cost him. It's not like you can look at his play and go, oh, he's always done the same boring early game. No, he's always mixed in cheeses. He's always been one of the best endgame players. Like, Maru's range is pretty textbook. Viking will push the Lib away. Marine's going to cut it off there. There is another Lib down here as well. Bunny very methodically getting into a proper game now. 1-1, stim. Shields will come in afterwards. 5 barracks are up. He's taking a time to move his third command center out because he doesn't have many Marines. He knows Maru, with the earlier upgrades, might be able to beat him in the open field, so he's waited till he has plenty of tanks. He leaves one in the main, one in the natural, and you can see he's kind of like very carefully inching his way towards the third. It's like he just got a Hellion, right? But yeah, Maru's always mixed things in like this, and there are series. So back to the original point I was making, which I got lost in the source a bit there. I went and forgot. Essentially, people will go, oh, you're an idiot. Why throw a game doing such a greedy build? You're better than him. Just play safe. And it's like, the reason Maru's better than everyone is because he doesn't just play safe. He plays everything. And if this worked and Bunny didn't hit that timing, like, people look at it and go, well, look, this is such a dumb build. He just dies to anything. It's like, yeah, but what if Bunny hits him 2 minutes later? Maru's like, I got 30 Marines with stim, 1-1 and shields. It literally looks overpowered. And everyone would be praising him and go, oh, genius build order, you know. That's just it. Bunny happened to have the right counter build this time. Ooh, Bunny loses his +1 weapons, but at what cost? Oh, no! Maru with a really clever snipe, but he's going to lose 2 medevacs, and I don't think he can afford that. I mean, to be fair, it is funny that Bunny now is on +1 armor Marines against 2-2 Marines. So his Marines are so much worse. Maru's back to 55. No. Oh my lord, I just saw Bunny's life flash before my eyes. Guys, no, surely he can't defend this, right? Okay, Bunny needs to not choke. I know, like, the supply is crazy different, but with 2-2, these 20 Marines will beat the 44 Marines. There's 9 siege tanks, though. He's only bringing 5, though, because he's so paranoid. He's left 4 siege tanks at home. There is a world where Maru pulls off this comeback, guys. Maru's got 2-1. Sorry, he doesn't quite have 2-2. Crazy stim. Oh, no. Maru's going to lose the command center. Yeah, he didn't see the push coming. Oh, that hurts. Oh, the Marines are going to get by the tanks. Marine upgrades aren't going to help too much against siege tank fire either. No, I think Buddy's going to be able to finish off. I was like, no way, because this would be such a disgusting comeback. But Maru, I've been conditioned by Maru to expect him to always make comebacks. And anyone who's watched enough StarCraft 2 and Maru specific, you would know what I'm talking about. The number of times I have called him completely out of a game, and he just makes the most disgusting comeback you've ever seen. And you're just like, damn, dude. And look at his camera. That's what I love here about having the cameras to PiGFest. And that's a requirement to play in this tournament. You have to have the camera on all the time. Obviously, occasionally we do have tech glitches and things, but I get to see there's a game like this, and I've seen players look so stressed trying to make comebacks in these sorts of games. I look at Maru and he's like, yeah, I'll see if I can make something of it. Like, he's got so little on the line emotionally, ego-wise in this series. He's literally like, I'll just play it out and see if my opponent screws up and just give myself an opportunity. If he makes a bunch of mistakes, maybe we get back in it. Tank's going to get jumped on. No Marine support for Maru. And I think he will get overrun here as all the tanks go down. He's got 1 in reserve. His Marines do go across the map. But Bunny, with his 1-1 against 2-2 Marines, I think now should be able to buy time for the Planetary to get up. And Planetary will erect itself and start to blast those Marines out of there. Really well done. Maru's back to 2 base. I think he's probably going to tap out sometime in the next 30 to 40 seconds. Basically, one more little engagement that goes against him, and he'll go, okay, there's no point staying in here. Mass Marine tank bust on the natural. Ooh, tanks firing all over those Marines. But Bunny's got position on the command center. Now, amazingly, there's a Viking advantage for Maru. So even in the midst of everything, he's got both an upgrade advantage and a Viking advantage. And he's like, well, you don't keep scanning. You can't keep attacking this command center. Problem, there's so many tanks and so many scans available. Maru's going to lose the command center. He has to lift it to keep it alive. Oh, he's in a disastrous spot. I'm glad we're getting a game 3 at the start of this series, even if it is a build order loss, guys. Maru's like, yeah, okay, I'm wasting time now. And he just taps out calmly. And that's, I mean, yeah, he's got a hand on his head, but I wouldn't say that's the super stressed hand on your head. You're just like, his build order. He did the right one. He called me out. Well played by Maru. Well played by Bunny. I think that was there's a faster push than I was expecting. Didn't waste time on Ravens, and he just got right in there. I think that was crucial. If he waited another minute or two, there was a lot more outs for Maru, but hitting such a sharp timing was really well played. All right, guys. Maru in the top left side of the map. What was I saying, guys? He likes to cheese. He likes to play greedy. He likes to do everything. Well, he's gonna double proxy barracks. Now, Bunny has been going 1 rack 6 ban 3 games in a row, being predictable against your opponent, very dangerous. However, he was sending an SCV scout out. Was it 18 or 17? It was, I think, not this SCV, but the next SCV. I think about a minute and 8 seconds, maybe even earlier. He sent an SCV across the map in the last game. If he doesn't do that this game, and he just builds a command center on the natural, he could be in trouble. Because remember, guys, the thing that's scary about Maru is he could be the favorite, and he's just like, YOLO, double 14 supply barracks, 14 gas, so it's 14 barracks, 14 gas, 14 second barracks. This was on 14, right? I don't think this was a 15 supply one, because he's only got 16 SCVs now. This is an incredibly committed push. Bunny is not scouting for it. Now, what you want to do normally is you want to rally your barracks Reaper over here to check, to see if they're there. And he is checking for it. That's good. You see the rally point? He's checking for it. Notice how Maru moved his SCV to the left side to make it look like it was coming from his base rather than a proxy location, just to kind of sell the story of a normal game. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. Okay, Bunny. Bunny, if you lose this Reaper, you're dead. Don't chase the SCV. Dude, is that SCV tricked him into going to the left? You need to check for the proxy. That's the first thing. This is the first thing. I've seen a lot of Terrans. They don't check for this anymore. This is a weird thing in the meta where no one checks for the main proxy spot anymore, and it's going to cost him big time. He actually starts winning the Reaper fight, but then he loses the Reaper getting greedy because he got the grenade off. Second Reaper comes in, finish the kill, and if you lose that Reaper, it's game over and lights out. MARU says, lol, you forgot the first rule of TVT. Always cheese in the final game. Always cheese. Bunny has got to be a bit devastated by that, but this was 3 very greedy builds in a row, and to do game 3 with no SCV scout, he gets called out. MARU is always willing to lay everything on the line, and that Reaper hopping back in and getting the Marine is going to be enough. Bunny with a shake of the head, disappointed, as he said, MARU, I thought you were better than that. I thought you'd play safe against me. MARU just kind of like, it's TVT, man. I always mix in my proxy breaks. And the thing is, the reason MARU does that is because it's not an all-in. It is a build where he's one of the best players, even when it goes sideways a bit. MARU has faith in his ability to still turn that into a very competitive game, even if he doesn't get the early damage he's looking for. He's like, I could win here, and even if I don't win and I play from the game onwards from a bit behind, it's not like a game-losing position. So MARU was willing to take the risk. Bunny got caught being way too greedy, and it pays off big time. All right, guys. Shit in the bottom right side of the map. It's PiGFest Group A. It's our second match here in Group A. The other side was MARU versus Thingamajig. And yes, guys, it is the rotating light effect on this map with the crystals there. Classic at the top left side of the map. Classic against Shin. Classic comes in as the favorite here. I think what's scary for Classic is he's a bit predictable. What's not scary for him is the fact that Shin is scariest in the mid-game in a several-minute window between about 6 and 8 minutes. And if Shin doesn't find damage there, it does sometimes feel like his ability to win at, say, Hive Tech falls off a cliff. For me personally, I believe a part of what will lead to Shin's potential success is potentially Classic thinks it's gold base openings. Because Classic's gone and checked the gold base right from the start to make sure Shin's not getting away with a greedy hatch first on the gold. I think if he saw that, he would have come down and built a forge and would have reactively cannon rushed the gold, because to make sure that doesn't happen. But you guys can see, of course, Classic's camera is on the left, Shin's on the right. I did not check that the colors were correct, but guess what? I can fix that really quickly. Hopefully I can do that. Oh, sorry, guys. I just need to do that. There we go. Look at that. Classic's blue, Shin's red. Magic. The game pops back up on screen. I'm not using windowed mode. We are on our second PC here. And honestly, I'm surprised the production's working as well as it is. I'll just have to make sure the players stick to these colors for the rest of this series. Classic, though, like I said, is a favorite, but Shin's got vicious timings in the mid-game. I think part of the secret to success for him is if he can mix in a big Mutalisk surprise and find success with it in one of these games, game 1 or game 2 especially, I think that makes Classic more scared. It'll give him more things to worry about. And I think that's where Mutalisks kind of fall in the matchup. The whole position where Mutalisks are is it's a super all-in surprise that can get massively hard countered. However, it gives Protoss something to worry about. And if they're not worried about it, Protoss tends to have these ultra streamlined build orders where this guy never plays Mutas. Don't even need to think about it. And I can just do whatever I want. And ZVP is a matchup where if Protoss feels safe doing a certain range of things and being greedy, they can get away with murder. Zerg can do the same thing to a certain extent. Like we watched Rogue the other day was playing some of the greediest CVP I've ever seen in my entire life. Like you could tell when Rogue figures out like what your range is as a player, my lord, he will take some real liberties, you know? That man isn't opening with a single roach if he doesn't think you're going to hit him with like a ton of Zealot Arc on all-ins or Glaive Adept all-ins. Classic is usually very good at hitting Glaive Adept timings after Oracles. Great defense for Shin so far. And that's usually a secret to catch a Zerg who's greedy. How greedy is Shin? Shin 8 drones into Overlord. He is slightly supply blocked now, but he doesn't have a lot of lava. He's building spores right now. I think this is a perfectly fine macro for Shin. Because you got to look at the supply blocks and go, look, there's only one idle lava. So the supply block essentially delayed one drone from building it. It really is not a big deal. Spores coming up in both bases and going to 4 queens. I do think 5 queens is essential. I've seen a lot of players try to get away with 4 queens recently in this matchup. And the number of times a double or triple oracle comes in, kills a queen, and the game just snowballs out of control. It's way too much. Oh, this is actually really good D for Shin. Look at the damage. No! Oh, Classic. Classic loses his first Oracle. A disaster. He's going to build a third one now. I'm not sure if he was planning to do that or not. He's going to go third and fourth gas, but for 2 drones, guys, that is the discount deal every Zerg will ever take. If you offer a Zerg that, they will take it every time. You know, sometimes there's junk food you shouldn't buy, but it's like 80% off in the supermarket. You just have to buy it. That's essentially what Classic just offered Shin. Shin was like, I got to eat healthy. I'm dieting. I'm exercising. Classic's like 6 Big Macs for $2. And Shin just like immediately broke diet for that. He's just like, oh, let's go. It's good for him. RoboForge Twilight. Wow. Okay, charge follow-up. Charge follow-up's very popular right now. And I think you're safer doing it if you know there's an Evo chamber as well. Because then there's not going to be any sort of like early big roach all in. And I think right now, this whole matchup, and a lot of the discussion around it with Zergs complaining and Protoss players telling Zergs to stop whining. Oh, another Oracle goes down! Big mistake for Classic again. But a lot of the discourse right now is basically Protoss players. He goes back in. Oh, he thought, he's like, oh, you've let your guard down now, haven't you? I'm going to throw away my third Oracle. Oh, no. Guys, I'm looking at Classic's face. I'm hoping we can zoom that camera in maybe after this game. Because I really want to see his face even more. I feel like I'd be so tilted if I lost all 3 Oracles for only like 6 drones. The Lings are going to get in. Ooh. Oh, my lord. Dude, he gets 1 Zealot. Okay, I guess he gets 2 probes as well. It's acceptable. It's not bad, but definitely could have been way more damage if it wasn't such good micro there. That is crazy, dude. Okay, 4th hatchery in the bottom left side. Lair, 18 Zerglings, +1 melee. It's going to be a Hydra Den and Hydra Bane, I think, once he's got this lair up. It's a shockingly late lair for Shin, isn't it, guys? It's almost like... Oh, no. That gold base ain't surviving against Zealot Archon, is it? Well, maybe. He's warping his High Templar at home. He's realized the Prism can't be warping in on this side of the map. Not going to have a chance. So he warps in the Archons at home. He'll probably have to run those across with the Zealots and meet up with it. Gold base already mining with 12 drones. That's exceptional. The Hydra Den has started, but it's very late. Shin's got a great economy, but if you're just building nothing but Zerglings against Zealot Archon, guys, it's got to get good surrounds on the Archons. And this is already great. Surrounding the Zealots immediately is huge. I think he might want to back away. Oh, goes for the Adept surround. Only gets 1 Zealot and 1 Adept there. Not a great start. But if he can surround the Archons, that'll be everything. The Archons are going to try and get in a nice little corner. The Lings trying to engage. The drones might want to fight a little bit, but oh, the Archons in a corner are so hard to deal with. Their splash damage is nasty, but the Lings finally get the wraparound, and I think at the end of the day, it's all about critical mass as the Protoss player. Oh, he gets a hatchery kill on the right side. So I think with Hydras now pumping out, this is fine for Shin, because you kept your gold base up, you got 11 Hydras, Groove Spines, +1 range on the way. And Classic, he's found damage, but what's behind it? No 4th Nexus. He can't defend a 4th Nexus. He's got Storm started. He's got a big pack. Oh, big pack of Zealots, and there's no Bane Nest. No Bane Nest. Oh, no, Shin. I think Shin's gold's going to go down. Back to 3 base for you, buddy. And that is a real problem for Shin, who I thought should have been in a really good spot in this game. But just no Bane Nest. Can't deal with the heavy Zealot. Especially not if there's some Archons behind it. The Lings are going to go across the map for a counter while the Hydras stay at home. I think that's a really good call. Oh, he's in! Okay, that's a problem, because these are +1 melee Zerglings, guys, and they will get into 2 mineral lines in significant numbers. The probes don't mineral walk at first, which is a problem. He also bypasses, and those guys are going to get in the 3rd base. Massive run by air. The amount of mining time is probably going to be at least 600, probably 800 resources, maybe more, including the gas. It might be like 1,000, 1,500 resources. And then he's killing 10 plus probes as well. I mean, it's just an excellent trade here for Shin. And I kind of wish those Lings ran into the 3rd, but it looks like the Zealots did head them off. Baneling Nest finally coming in, but Storm's already there. And you are a 3-base Zerg. He's only now rebuilding the hatchery. Wait, what? Guys, Shin, I think he thought he was getting all in by Classic. He's just been massing Hydras. He really needs Banelings. Honestly, he just needs like 10 slow Banes to stop the Zealots jumping on his Hydras. If he has 10 slow Banes, he's fine. But he's not preemptively making any Banes. And I think Classic might just kill him here. Zealot Archon man mode coming in. It used to be you couldn't get away with charge styles consistently because of Nidus Swarmos and Roach timings. But lately, Protoss players, with the new Storm, And just Zerg's confidence on this map pool, they don't feel as confident doing those roach timings. We don't see as much Knight of Swarmos. And this sort of Zealot build, even when the early game goes against you, we're seeing how good they are at making this work. The Banelings go in a bit far ahead, but actually he almost gets the High Templar. Oh my god, Shin with the Waddly Boy Baneling Assault almost kills the High Templar. That is crazy, man. Now, good spread on the units here. Oh, Banelings just rolled in and killed 13 probes on the third. Hydraling Bane Queen, but these storms could be brutal. The Ling Bane rolls forward. The Banes will get popped. There's quite a few Zealots in behind. The Hydras are fighting pretty darn well. And I think Shin here is going to get right on top. Hydra's chasing after the Prism, making sure there are no warp-ins available. The Immortal will finally fall. He's making sure that Prism will not escape. It does go down, as do the Archons. And that's a 56 Pro Protoss who's completely all in. Shin, despite being only on 3 base, no drones on the 4th. 5 gases, 62 drones. He ends up getting it there. If Classic pulled back from that fight, he actually might have been in an okay spot. Could have played the longer game, but he, of course, didn't have the scouting. And this is what happens when you lose 3 Oracles in the early game, guys. You have no map vision. So he's basically just stabbing in the dark ever since the early game, because he's like, Shin's probably droned up a 4th base. Shin's probably building a 5th up here. He didn't know Shin was sitting on 60 drones. And this is why this style feels so bad if you don't have Oracles. You gotta have that vision to actually make educated choices on when to move out. Ling's going around the left side. The other reason why mutas are really good is so many people aren't opening Blink right now, guys. And obviously mutas are better against charge openings. So, a couple reasons why muta builds are very useful right now. Just the lack of general anti-air and whatnot. Only one of them. Oh, Storm will damage. Oh, second Storm saves the day. Only gets a pylon. And forces some High Templar energy away, but that's overall a very good trade for Classic. Shin, he's on 68 workers, so he does need to trade, right? Like, he needs to build a 5th base on the gold again, and he needs to keep going. And I think the best move for him is just split his army into 2 halves. Half the army hits the natural, half the army hits either up here or the 4th on the front. I don't see how Classic can possibly spread to deal with that, but Ling Run by will do. That's good enough, mate. Gonna get in there. Pylon will get targeted down. Many probes falling. Zealots will come back to deal with it. More Banelings trying to roll in the front. But Shin's main army has been very inactive. I mean, this is the perfect sort of distraction where you could hit him on the front and there's no way Classic lands good storms. But Shin being a little bit conservative, I mean, he's got great damage, right? 9 probes, these are great trades. He's making 28 Banelings. And I fear that rolling head on into Storm Archon, I'm not sure if this is the best way to use a mass Baneling army. I think he's going to come in on a bit too much of a clump up. I really feel he should be coming from the left and the right at the same time. There we go. There we go. I was like, because otherwise all you're doing, your units are just going to clump up for storms. Honestly, maybe he should be split into 3 squads. Oh, the Zealots are going to cause problems on the counter. Classic. Is he going to be able to make the most heroic hold of all time happen? Storms. He needs storms. The Archons needed. Oh, my lord. So many Banelings. The Banelings getting on top of those High Templar. Most of them have gone down. Hydra Bane from all sides. Oh, the Hydras will now deal with the unsupported Archons. You know, Classic's making a good play of it, but as you can see, the Zealots come in. They cause some damage behind. Lings with +2 melee now will make quick work of those Zealots, though. Zealots with +3 attack actually have no extra benefit over +2. And in general, same with Archons. It would have been better off going either Armor or Plasma Shields. Plasma Shields is good because it helps the Archons as well. I actually think level 1 Plasma instead of +3 attack would be much more efficient. Go check out the old Pig Daily about upgrades in PvZ from 2016. Did a very long analysis about that. Was very happy when at that BlizzCon stats started emulating the plasma shields after +2, and the Archons were pretty tanky. Also upgrades very quickly, those tier 1 upgrades. Now Classic's still alive, guys. Shin surely should have built a gold base during that. Shin's trying to force things a bit too much, and it's like, it's just making me think, like, if Classic wasn't so dead, this gives him paths back into the game that he shouldn't have. Like, this gold base could have already been transferred to, because look, he's massively oversaturated on his natural now. So I think that's a misplay. Not building the 5th in the middle of this. Yeah, it would have died to the Zealots, but at least then this base wouldn't have lost as much mining time. It's a lot of High Templar and Archons. Remember, even when Protoss mineral income sucks, guys, their gas income, it's a bit more of a solid army than Zerg gets, because Archons are great, and High Templar, of course, very good as well. But Not when the Banelings get on top of them. Nuh-uh. Obviously, Shin has way too much stuff. Classic should be going down to this wave. Classic's going to tap out, and Shin there with an excellent early game. I mean, Classic threw 3 oracles away at the start. That is not what you're meant to do in Protoss versus Zerg. Shin cleans up game 1 despite being the underdog. All right, guys. We've got Shin in the top left. Great game 1 victory. Probe comes in off of a Gateway Scout for Classic. Now, the Gateway Scout is the most beta move because it's basically like, I'm just going to check you're not 12 pulling, and it doesn't really serve another function other than to be annoying with the probe harass, which any experienced Zerg deals with very easily. However, counterpoint, it's actually a true Chad move because Classic's saying, I can waste a couple hundred minerals that I could have been mining at home and gas with this probe just to make sure you can't get a cheesy victory over me, because I know I am so favored over you. I don't even care. I could send a probe across, not even try to block your hatchery, and I'm totally fine with that. And that's pretty alpha from Classic, I gotta say, guys. If he does lose a narrow game 2 and gets 2-0'd, I will be very hypercritical. I do honestly think the Gateway Scout is one of the weakest openings, but Shin's a cheeky boy, and if there's a guy you don't want to get caught off by with the 12 pull all in, he is of course one of the guys who could pull that out. So it is what it is. Big thank you, Neuro, for the raid, JW for the sub, and thank you everyone for tuning in live here to PiGFest Group A. Day 1 of PiGFest, guys. 2 weeks of amazing StarCraft. We are at about $7,500 prize pool. Hoping we get to that $10,000 goal. And all donations on my stream the past 2 weeks and for the next 2 weeks, a month straight, are going to go directly towards that. Big thank you, Men's, for gifting some subbies there as well. Appreciate all of you. We'll give you guys some more props in between the games. For now, let's focus on the commentary. Probe goes for the blocky block, but it is third queen before third hatchery. Shin doing the European style. And he goes early creep tumor. Oh, I love this. I love this. So many people aren't doing the creep tumor these days. And I actually think the creep tumor with the early third queen is way more optimal because you just get so much coverage. The Adept, if it wants to shade in, it has to shade from a bit further away. You can move 2 queens out to meet this Adept as well. Great openings for Shin. And Shin, for those who don't know, has always been a guy who wins with his brain rather than his hands. It's not about speed and mechanics for Shin. It's about build orders. It's about countering his opponent. It's about studying his opponent's builds, finding weaknesses. I do wonder if he expects Void Ray from Classic, because Void Ray is very different opening to Oracle. Zerglings here, and Queens. On top of these Adepts, he's losing quite a lot of Zerglings, but as long as he gets one of the Adepts, I think he's okay with that. You are absolutely okay because Zerglings are cheap and Adepts are expensive. You can actually see there. The Adept costs as much as 5 Zerglings and an Extractor Trick. 125 resources for an Adept, 25 minerals per Zergling. Third Nexus goes down to about 350. Second Gateway is there. Void Ray is going to come forward and find its first Overlord. The other Overlord's hiding in the back door, hoping the Void Ray doesn't come back and find him hiding there. 2 more Overlords on the way for Shin. Does end up in a supply block, but not a big one. I think he's okay with that. Especially if he keeps injecting. Yeah, injects the third. Does he inject the natural? He's got the energy right now. Look at how good he is, guys. 26 energy. And he almost immediately injects it within like 2 seconds. Very crisp, very crisp. Oh, Classic finds it. Classic finds it. Oh, okay. Gets the double Overlord. He's going to go Forge Twilight behind this. It's almost certainly going to be a charge opening. And it is a very quick lair for Shin. I think Shin's just going straight to Hydras. No Evo Chamber this time around. And I always feel against a Void Ray opening, I'm tempted to do like a 55 drone Hydra timing. 5 gases, 3 base. Maybe build a 4th just to make it look like you're playing a macro game. But basically you just go Hydras, Lings, and you get like 12 Hydras with movement speed. And you just shove across the map with mass Lings behind it. You're trying to hit before charge with that and trying to just overwhelm essentially a few Stargate units and a couple of Adepts because that's all you want to be facing at that stage. But he's going Roach Warren is Shin. Roach Warren is my least favorite tech right now, but because charge is so common, I'm down with it if you go Swarm Host Nidus, which I don't think we've seen in a while. I think it's a very good strategy that Zergs have forgotten about. You go back many years, many games when Protoss players like Showtime started to spam charge builds, got punished by Swarm Host Nidus off of Roach. Kind of 3-basey Roach play into that Swarm Host Nidus. Very hard to stop for Charge Zealots. They don't have the mobility of Blink. These Oracles have done a really good job of denying gas mining here. This is so annoying. Just so much energy on them. But only 3 drones at the end of the day. So I think he's okay with that. See, Shin could have had his Spore over here. or here guarding the gases, but then that left side of the mineral line's wide open. And 10,000 feet's one of those maps where there's just so much access. They could choose all 3 bases to hit from this angle, so it's a really good spot to camp your oracles. Roach speed and +1 on the way for Shin. He's on 69 workers already with a quick 4th base. He's also got 3 very well-placed active tumors out there. It kind of feels like he's doing a Roach Hydra all-in. Is the only thing I think... Yeah, no, he's going to just do a Roach Hydra timing, but Storm will be ready. Okay, so I think he's just going to try and exhaust all of the Psy Storms. I haven't seen this one work in a while. If Classic gets a bit too greedy, it definitely could be successful. The extra Zerglings is kind of good at selling the story of this might be Mutalisks or Hydras or Lurkers or something. Because if you see Roaches and you see a lot of them, then you kind of know exactly what's happening, right? You know, like, okay, pretty basic tech. He sees a Hydroden now. Oracle's getting really good vision. I mean, there's just so much vision for Protoss on this map if they use the air units correctly, and Classic's doing that so well. Second Robo as well. 10 more drones come in for Shin. Oh, no. 10 more drones is super redundant commitment, because that means you're getting mass economy of basic units. I mean, he's just going to go all in on 75 drone Roach Hydra, but those 10 drones going to take a while to pay for themselves. That being said, the High Templar in the open. Oh my lord, he dives for it. How many High Templar could he get? He's already baited 2 storms and focused down a few of these High Templar. Cute dive for Shin. Is it worth it, guys? Obviously, he doesn't kill that many units. I think he got 2 High Templar and he forced 2 into an Archon. That massively reduces the amount of storms in the next little bit. Can these Roaches get home to transfuse? Classic says no. The Oracle and the Zealots do a really good job. If a bunch of those red hit point Roaches got back, it would have been really good meat shield for the next step. Overlord speed, he is going to do drops. I was wondering, with a Roach Hydra style, multi-drops can be good. If you get some drops up here, deny +2, that'd be great. Also, if you get a drop down around the back, if the Void Ray ever goes down, you can start dropping Hydras between these 2 mineral lines. Quite hard for Protoss to defend that. Thank you, Angular, for the sub as well. Appreciate you guys all hanging out and tuning in today. We've had a lot of tech issues earlier today, and yet the production seems okay. Second Stargate goes down into Flea Beacon. Yeah, I was wondering what that second Stargate was even for. This seems like an obscenely early tech transition into air, but I think he's just like, hey, I've seen Roach Hydra. It's probably Lurkers. He doesn't realize this is not Lurkers. Tempests are not really necessary. What he needs more than anything is more Immortals and more High Templar. He's only got 4 High Templar. Cannons will help as well. Mass Roach Hydra. Overlord's going down the right side, so he's setting up for a future drop, but it's been scouted, and the Void Ray could find all of it. The Void Ray hunting down those Overlords would be very juicy catches. Roach Hydra is going to be able to spread down here as well as here, which means extra room to bait those Psy Storms. See what he can get done. These zoning Storms are so fantastic. They do damage and they zone units out quite effectively. In a slow drawn-out battle, they are very good, but look at the arc for Shin. Shin comes in with a massive arc of units. The High Templar, though, they don't have so many Storms left. Already one of the Immortals is getting very low. One Immortal goes down. The Archon's starting to fall. The Roach Hydra on the south side doing really well. Shin shoves for it. He wants to get on top of those tech units. He does move forward. The Zealot warp in, and those 4 Immortals are holding the line, though. Can those 5 Immortals hold the line? Can they hold the line? The Stasis Trap gets focused, and Immortal falls. The Zealot warp in will save the day, and I think Shin wisely falls back with his Roach Hydra, because that Zealot warp in, and not to mention 2 more Storms arriving. 2 more Storms arriving. Shin can't quite break through. I think he's trickling into a bad fight right now. I think he's got to pull back, group up, and wait for the next wave. Now, what will that next wave be, guys? Looks like just more Roach Hydra. He can transfer workers. Take a 5th base might be nice as well. He feels like the longer he lets this go, though, the worse it's going to get. He's already down 3,000 units lost, and I think with 8 gases, cannons and batteries on both bases, he's gone Ravagers. Yeah, he's super all in. Super all in is Shin. That's it's not a good supply advantage when you've got this much Roach Ravager in the army against that many Immortals and Storms. I think Classic survived the scariest moment. Shin's trying to make some magic happen, but I really want to criticize those last 10 drones that he built. I think if he did this off 68 workers, 67 workers, there's more of a chance of this working. But I think he waited a little bit too long to go. And to be fair, Classic rushed Psystorm so early. He had a good amount of Psystorm, even though he only had 4 High Templar, and now Shin's feeling forced to go Hive. He's going to go for Lurkers while digging for more damage, but with Tempests already coming out, Classic is so far ahead of that. Shin doesn't realize that boat's already sailed. Nice piles on the cannons. Good positioning. Classic got caught out of position there. You don't really have the crazy damage output on this army. You'll notice with Roach Ravager, it's meaty, but it's not the same. If you stim in there for that long with Bio, you would have killed a lot of units there, right? A lot of probes, maybe killed the Nexus. Roach Ravager is a pretty low damage army. It's not really what you want. Tempest's going to start pushing him back. He's got the Hive and the Lurker down on the way. Tempest's already countered that. I think the play here for Shin. So if we think about how do you win this game, guys? So I think he's got to like call up a friend and send them over to Classic's house, because Classic's in late game like solidly. Shin doesn't have a Spire started. He's facing an almost maxed out Protoss with Tempest Storm. Dropping the main's a good idea. If Mothership gets there, it's going to be a problem. He's going to drop a lot of Roaches in the main base, hopefully fight away from the Immortals, where the Roaches can trade well against buildings, against Zealots. Did the Void Ray go down, guys? Void Ray's with the main army. If that Void Ray stayed on the right side, that'd be... Oh, no. Oh, Shin! This idiot Roach literally lets him know about the impending drop. Oh, my gosh, that idiot Roach. He's like, I want to get inside the Overlord drop. Oh, what a dum-dum. Gives Classic a heads up. He's going to try and save some of these Roaches. Does get rid of the Forge, denying the +3. And he will take out the Templar Archives as well. I think it's wise to focus structures, things that can't be microed away here. Kind of annoying to lose. Placing those Roaches with Lurkers, Hydras, trying to fight out here in the open. Classic wasn't watching for a few seconds. The Hydras actually get a surprisingly good fight. Classic caught with his pants around his ankles. But it doesn't matter, those Tempests flank in. And of course, those High Templar will be replaced. Shin is so far behind in this game, guys. He's in a desperate position. Remember, guys, if your friends don't let you join them on the bank heist, following the car with a balaclava on, waving a gun in the air, saying, let me join the heist, let me join the bank robbery. It's probably not a good idea. Your friend, I don't think it's going to get you in. I don't think you're going to be invited to too many more of those in the future, man. May work against your intended purposes. Tempest, High Templar, Immortal Zealot moving forward. Zergling's going to go over here and deny the 5th, which is a good move, but no melee upgrades, so the Zerglings can't really compete in the late game. The Tempest Mothership's going to pick away. 2 Vipers just now starting. I mean, Shin's hanging in here, but I'm kind of looking at his face on the camera and I'm going, just don't be tilted, man. Like, this, when your Roach Hydra attack didn't break through, it was close. It just didn't quite break through, and that was it, right? You gotta... You're trying here, which is fine, but don't get like emotionally damaged, because you know when your all-in didn't work, you were kind of dead, and now you're just hoping Classic's going to make some big mistakes. Problem that happens is sometimes players play these games out, and unlike the kind of, you know, equanimity of Maru, where he just kind of chills when he's behind and doesn't look stressed at all, and he just makes his opponent work to finish him off. Sometimes I'll see, especially in this matchup right now, a ZVP player, a Zerg player get a bit tilted and go, ah, silly Protoss, what the hell, man? But I think this recall in the main is going to spell disaster. Mothership announces her intentions. Oh, she recalled. No! The recall! The High Templar split into 3 locations. A massive mistake for Classic, but he does land some good storms. He's got 4 High Templar on the ledge. That is hilarious. That's so funny, man. That may have been one of the sloppiest recalls. He recalled a bit too early, but I think it's good enough. We've got Immortals running in that right side as well. They're going to kind of rally through the Lurkers. He can still defend the position with the High Templar on the ledge, but Shin's got to tap out either way. Dude, that was so funny. The fact that he split that between High Templar on the ledge, Immortals on the low ground, and High Templar over here as well. GG's. Alright, guys. We've got Shin in the bottom left side of the map. Classic in the top right. It is going to be a gas first, no scout. Ooh, Classic. Skipping the scout. I think this is such a safe bet. Like, what's the chance Shin 12 pulls on this map, man? Very unlikely that he's going to do that. Interesting to see Shin did do a tiny little bit of speed micro on the mining before, but it looks like he's eased off that for now. He's just doubling his workers up, making sure they stay in the right position. Classic. Does he speed mine? I don't think any of these guys speed mine. I think realistically, it's just the Clem, Max Pax, Rainer, you know, Hero, essentially. The spammy kids plus Hero, who is actually way older than them, but still loves spamming buttons and clicking them, microing furiously. Interesting. He went 3 on gas, did Classic, before going 16 on minerals. I always feel like you have such an abundance of gas with a gas first build that it's more important to leave 16 on minerals. And I've always criticized heroes saying 3 on gas so early. I think is a mistake. We'll see if Classic can make it worthwhile. Shin's gone 3 hatchery before Queen. Okay. So he's going to build his Queen on his natural first. Very nice. What is speed mining? Well, whenever you watch any of the games recently of the young guns, those blitzy kids that like spamming buttons, Trigger as well fits into that category. They'll shift-click the workers so they don't decelerate. Notice these probes, as they're mining, they decelerate to return the minerals, and they decelerate to come just to a nice calm stop as they reach the minerals. You can shift-click them so they move right up to the thing, so they don't decelerate back and forth. So you have to kind of shift-click them this way and that way. It just gives you a few more minerals in the early game, and if you're insanely fast as a player, it doesn't cost you anything. It's one of the many built-in advantages for players with ADHD that are pro StarCraft players. Do you get an advantage if you enjoy meticulously micromanaging things to give yourself slight advantages? I'm talking very slight. Third hatchery's there as well. Steps coming in. Speed mining has existed for almost 3 decades, yes. Yeah, I don't know if we've ever seen players as obsessed with doing it as consistently as this current cadre? Jeez, I'm just going to stop saying words that I normally read and never say out loud. This section of new young pros plus hero. Dep doesn't get anything done. Ling's going to go in the main base. How many probes can we get? Any probes would be amazing. Classic, too good for that. He'll take care of him. Ha! Chat said Carter? It's definitely not Carter. Cohort. Cabal. Cabal is the only correct term for Zerg players, but there's Protoss and Terran in it, which is why it's not a Cabal. Second Oracle on the way, looking for a quick third. He did go 2 gate before third. 2 Adepts coming across, though the Adept Shades are a bit desynced. Spores finishing just in time, which means 2 Spores. Third one coming up on this base as well. Well defended, and Classic is gonna... You know, the downside of game 1 is he might end up being a bit too conservative after what happened there. Where he really is like panicked about losing units. Oh, Lings are too far out of position. The drones should run away. Queens are blocking there, so he only gets 1 drone. Surely there's a queen in the... Oh my god, there's no queen in the main! Where are the Zerglings, bro? Oh my lord. Oh, Shin. The 2 Adepts going around the side of the map. So many Zergs have lost entire tournaments to this before. And it could be yet another tournament life on the line. It's a very big map. It's a greedy map. It's a map where you don't want to lose 5 drones early to 2 Adepts sneaking across the map, man. A lot of damage. 2 Adepts, 5 drones, and 3 Zerglings. Ling's looking to reassert map control. And where do you pivot from here as Shin? It's a good map for mutas, but it's also a map where people sometimes expect those mutalesque tech switches, and Triple Oracle is on the map for Classic. He's got to nail down his defense. He's on only 4 queens. 1 Spore ain't going to defend 3 Oracles, man. Good pull away on the drones for now. Time you do that, you do lose a little bit of mining time. There are 2 queens in the main base. These Spores are everything. Oh, Queen's taking damage, watch out. But Spore Crawler's going to help. Ooh, okay, you get a Queen and 3 drones. The 3 drones are mostly to these 2 Adepts, though, and once again, the Lings are out of position. Oh, the early game ZVP is very difficult against these top players, and Classic is just picking Shin apart here. Kind of unfortunate to see him fall this far behind. If he's able to bring this back after this early game, I'll be so impressed. And to be fair, it is a big commitment, right? Triple Oracle... He's gone 4 Adepts, but it's just 16 drones is so many. I mean, to be fair, Shin's macro has been so greedy. He's got this 4th on the left, which is kind of bizarre that he's taken that left side 4th. I feel like that's pretty rare. He's going to take the middle one as well in case he has to cancel that. Roach Warren's coming in. I don't really like the Roach Warren here. Then again, what if he just does a Roach Warren? I think this is a bad map for it. It's so hard to kill someone on this map with a Roach Warren. Spire. It's a good map choice for the Spire. Oh, Oracle's going to go down. We've got a big pronunciation debate between the Brits and the Americans in chat now, guys. Archon's coming with a few zealots. He's got roaches on the way. The problem with building this many roaches is that cuts into your gas for mutas. So especially if he has to morph for averages, this is really scary. Oracle's going to recall home. He's already lost 2 Oracles this game. The Ling counter is actually pretty good. Unfortunately for him, the Oracle is just such a problem here. I think Shin's... Honestly, I think maybe Shin should have stayed there, but an Adept in the mineral line and 1 Oracle overhead, and all of those Zerglings just get denied on the counter. That is rough. Middle base gets cancelled. Northern one, if he can defend it, he's good. Plenty of Roach Queen. This does remind me of Serral versus Hero from Thunderfire a few weeks ago, though. Wow, it was really hard for the Roach Queen to defend these faraway bases from the super mobile Zealot Archon. Oracle still chasing these down. That's a 20-kill Oracle. It's continuing to get value. First 5 mutas are in the way. The 8 gases coming up on the left side. 80 workers are there for Shin. And it really feels like Classic has not clocked what's happening in this game with the mutas. But I think he might spot it in a moment. These mutas need to come down. The roaches coming north. He's got to intercept this army, but Shin hasn't spotted it till now. And the mutas get spotted popping. Oh, it's so unfortunate. That's such a big advantage for... Wait, Classic's not reacting. Classic's not reacting. He's not built cannons. He's not built Phoenix. He didn't notice it. He was in the main base with the War Prism. He comes in with a Zealot drop. Now he sees it for sure. But he's going to kill a bunch of drones. 10 drones go down. Mutas clean this up. He's going to go for cannons. He's got cannons going up in each base. He's got Phoenix building a second Stargate. But good luck securing a 4th base. If Shin drones up his 5th, takes the gases here, goes to 90 drone, 10 gas mass muta, I don't think there's enough Phoenix off 3 base in the world to defend that. Unless you can get Pulse Crystals as well, +2 range on those Phoenix, which I don't think is going to happen. I don't think it's going to come in early enough. Fleet Beacon hasn't even started. You can't afford it. It's so expensive to get Fleet Beacon. I think Shin might actually have worked this into an advantage after losing 27 drones. And I'm sure there's somebody like, we'll see how unfair Zerg is. But honestly, it is impressive that he lost that many and was still able to absorb it. Remember, he played 4 Queen opening. 4 Queen. He did build a 5th eventually, but it was very late. It's a very greedy opening. And so he was always able to take a bit more damage than normal. I thought the Adepts made it way too much, but now he finds himself in a commanding lead. Classic, trying to go Fleet Beacon, trying to mass cannon battery Phoenix. Honestly, the fact he's already got 4 Phoenix out is impressive. Gas getting picked off. I feel like Shin might want to force the issue a little bit more than what he's currently doing. Like, those roaches could be on that 3rd right now. He's already building Corruptors. Is he going Corruptors a bit too early, guys? He's only got 11 mutas. And he's already building 11 Corruptors. Ooh, I think Shin's playing too conservative. I think if he went straight to 24 Mutalisks, he could already be picking these Phoenix off. Just Muta against the Phoenix. Now, the idea of the Corruptors is they buffer against the Phoenix because they've got +2 armor and they're armored. Whereas Mutalisks are light. So as long as your Corruptors are between the Mutas and the Phoenix, they beat the Phoenix. The problem is the Corruptors don't do anything except beat the Phoenix. Whereas Mutalisks can snowball and beat everything else. Going to engage now, but you can see he's got to keep those Corruptors in front of those Mutalisks. And with Archons coming over as well, Shin has not traded enough. These roaches needed to be in there yesterday. He's giving Classic a little bit too much time. If Classic can survive to max out, even just on 3 bases, he can make a real play of this. The building's really blocking these roaches. Hold position on those roaches. Will kill a lot of probes, though. And Classic, bad splits on the units. EF2'd his whole army to defend this, and that's going to cost him big time. Muta Corruptor now catches 2 Phoenix on the rotate, and he's going to kill the 3rd. Oh, that is big. 2 base Protoss. Keep in mind, it's not over until the fat Protoss GGs, guys. And I'll tell you what, Protoss with this much Storm, Phoenix Archon is not going to GG. You need to be base trading with Massling Muta usually against this. Guess what? He's got no Lings on the map. Only 20. He's building Spines because he realizes, oh god, this might turn into a base trade. He's got to go in here, shut down the Phoenix production, try and get on top of those Stargates. The Corruptors can chase the Phoenix. Cannons and batteries will help out, but the Corruptors are going to engage. Meanwhile, Zealot Archon goes across the map. This fat Protoss is not ready to sing just yet. Many cannons on the natural will help defend. Mutas are taking out one of the Stargates. But look at this. The Overlords are in the open. Shin has not hidden his Overlords. One of the first things you want to do in a base trade, hide those Overlords. Because if you get supply blocked, you're not going to be able to keep building those Mutas. And that is a real problem. Lings are coming in, but they're way too late to the party. If he could have already overwhelmed these cannons and batteries, it'd be a different story. But look at that. Corruptors, once again, chase a bit too far. Cannons do scare them away. 29 drones have gone down. Only 8 probes. A lot of probes have also escaped to the other side of the map. So Classic can rebuild over there. Classic right now fighting for that spot in the winners match, as is SHIN, who gets the joy of playing MARU in the winners match. Corruptors and Muters trying to hold on. The Ling's breaking the wall down. These cannons, if they all finish, that's a real problem. He's going to recall. He's recalling a few High Templar and Archons. He feels like with the Phoenix, the Archon, and the Storms, he can defend. Is that possible? Yeah, with this much cannons, I think it is. That is a crazy hold. Classic holds a base, but look how little anti-air he has on the other side. If SHIN can loop his Muter Corruptor around, he's got 28 Muters, 12 Corruptors, he can go kill the rest of the army. There is no recall available, but he's got to take the chance. He's got to take advantage of this opportunity. This army, there's nothing that shoots up. There's what, 1 High Templar and 2 Archons. And there's Mass Spine defending this base as well. SHIN has 2 bases up. Has he rebuilt any tech? He's got a Spawning Pool and a Baneley Nest. Corruptors are still zoning those Phoenix out. Classic just does not have the anti-air material. He may have kept a base alive, but at what cost? High Templar in the open. The Muters are going to take advantage of that. He lets the High Templar's own Storm finish their Archon off. The Storm here holds him back for a moment, and actually the Muters took a lot more damage than I thought they would. The Phoenix get a few kills there as well, but I think he's just going to engage on top. And I think he says, look, get rid of the Archon number 1, Archon number 2. Now, as long as I don't sit in Storm, I can kill the rest of this force, and he will do so. Classic has to tap out. That is an impressive GG. SHIN taking game 3 and winning a series after losing so many drones in the early game. Total of 71 drones dying in the making of that game, but the sneaky Muters pulled it off. Classic did not scout the Spire, did not get the read for a bit too long, and then got stuck on 3 base. All right, guys. Group A losers match. And one of these players is about to go home. Classic in the top left side of the map. Bunny in the bottom right. It's a TVP, and it's a rather large map to start things off. Taito Citadel. I believe it's Winter Madness and Ruby Rock, the next 2 games, which are going to be a bit more friendly to Bunny. If Bunny can steal this map off Classic, it'd be excellent. I really would love to see Bunny thinking about perhaps doing a very gambly build, a big all-in, an SCV pool, whatever it is, and just be willing to kind of throw caution to the wind and take that chance, because you're not favored on a giant map like Taito. It's hard to get over there, hard to push in. I know there was players who were saying this map's decent because there's like dead space on the edges where you could drop early on in the map pool. I've always felt like it was a bit of a nasty map. And speaking to Terran players more recently, I think their minds have changed. And they've said, yeah, actually, it's very hard to get across the map and pressure a Protoss player. And we know guys like Classic, if they don't feel under pressure, oh my lord. He's so good at getting up to that Colossus Storm timing that he does. There's like 6 High Templar, completely full of energy. 3 Colossus, a Warp Prism, Pack of Zealots and Stalkers, and the Terran player is having nightmares. Cybercore and a Zealot starts. I think he cancels that Zealot upon seeing no engineering bay, yeah? Yeah, cancels the Zealot from the production tab. Nexus will go down. Meanwhile, the probe just harassing over here. And there's a Reaper expand, no SCV scout for Bunny. I would have liked Bunny to just throw that command center off location. I always feel if they're committing to a block this well... Oh, I mean, he gets it on location, but it's a pretty big delay. I always feel like if you build it a space further forward, it's much easier to defend from the early Adept coming across. Whereas now, you know, that command center is quite delayed. What do you guys think? I'm really curious what everyone thinks on that, because I'm sure some players are like, yeah, just start it straight away. Like, you can just lift it and put it in the right position later. It doesn't matter. I'm sure there's other players who are like, that actually wastes more time. It's actually more efficient to just build it on location, as long as you can defend it from the Adept. Which usually means 2 Marines before Reactor. But no, he's just going to go for the old school, 1 Marine before Reactor. Build the bunker nice and early. As long as your bunker starts about 220, usually it's ready for the Adept. Reaper's out here looking for proxies, guys. And it's a Twilight Council for Classic. And it's a Twilight Council on the front even. So no surprises, no secrets here. Just wants to have the most efficient wall-off up early and available. Shade coming forwards. Depots are up. I'd love to see a starport go down immediately, and indeed it does with that Hellion. Command center's up. Orbital is morphing. And the Chrono's on probes. Whoa, Classic really focusing on his economy. It's not the most economic start when you go for a probe scout and you go core before Nexus, but he's making up for it now by really leaning into his economy. And he's not chronoing his blink just yet. I think he will from now on. Probably put 2 chronos into blink, just to limit any medevac harassment time in his base. I think he's got 50 energy, doesn't he? Yeah, there we go. First chrono goes in. Next one will go in about 30 seconds when he gets that energy from the natural. Did you just lose the Adept? Oh, the Adept goes down there. That's going to lose vision, and finally Bunny can get out on the map. Bunny's playing pretty typical. Raven tank, second barracks coming up. Now, what I don't like about this opening is I think Classic has recently exposed... Did I say Classic? Clem recently has exposed Classic for having what I call the Australia problem. Now, the Australia problem, not Australia, but we also have our own problems, namely dingoes. Bloody crazy dogs, man. Hellion's going to go down, gets itself a probe, but it does fall. So anyways, the Australia problem. Classic has this issue where because he almost never does a 4-gate blink, and when he does it, he's way more passive than a Max Pax or a hero. Clem has realized he doesn't need to build tanks when he plays Classic, and he almost never does. And he like only builds tanks if he's going for a push. Otherwise, he just doesn't bother with Raven, doesn't bother with tank. He just goes straight to Stim shields, plays super greedy, and then just like gets straight over there with Stim Medevac Bio. And it's kind of wild that he can do that, not off of the 3-racks build, but off of a normal starport build. And it's purely because he leaves himself wide open to blink all-ins, but Classic, such a defensive player, very rarely hits them. And I think with how standard the play here is of Bunny, I would have liked to see him cut that corner. Oh, no add-on on this third barracks. Could be an SCV pull with the Marine tank. Classic, I think, will be wanting to send another hallucination. I think Energy Recharge, send another hallucination. You got to confirm if this is a boy pull or not. Because that's a lot of Marines already, man. Whoa, someone's lagging, guys. I don't think that's me. TKL. Ooh, that's unfortunate. TKL's internet having issues. He's gonna leave immediately. I wasn't sure if the players could feel that as well. Reaper will go down. He's got a Raven up north. Marine tank moving through the tower. Not a big fan of lag spikes like that, but thankfully TKL gets out quickly so he doesn't disrupt the flow too much. Marine tank moving forward. Bio Medevac coming in. I mean, he's gone 2 tanks, but he hasn't committed too hard to like the defensive setup, so I still like Bunny's kind of streamlined vision for this game. Problem is these are non-combat shield, non-stim Marines pushing into Stalkers. And those Blink Stalkers are getting pretty good value. Raven goes for the auto turret flank. That's a crazy move. But it does allow him to get a forward siege. I just don't think he's got enough Marines to guard it. Crazy move for Bunny. And it pays off. Oh my gosh, the Stalkers blink in. They actually get hammered. And guess what, guys? Stim is done. He could even stim on these Stalkers if he wanted to, but I think just hanging with the tank is perfectly fine. Wow, that auto turret flank was clutch. Because if you give the Stalkers too much time, they get out of control, but he gave them no time. Oh, the Stim Bio. He focuses down all the Stalkers. Only one Stalker still alive. The probes are getting massacred. Good pull away on the probe timing for Classic. Don't let those probes escape. Focus the probes, Bunny. Bunny, just focus the probes. Oh, so many probes. So damaged, but they barely survive. And Bunny gets a pretty good trade. He could just fall back now. I think Bunny might have to pop this one away. He's overcommitting. He's bleeding out Marines here. Just pick up and leave, mate. He's trying to kite it out, but he's bleeding out way more Marines than damage he's doing. Tail end of this fight, not so good. Okay, but now it could turn. Oh, he doesn't have concussive. Does he? Oh, no, he does. Concussive does kick in there on those Marauder shots. And Classic's taking big damage, but is it enough to snowball it, guys? I don't know. Third command center is 3/4 of the way done. 4th and 5th barracks is here. He skipped an engineering bay. I don't know if that was on purpose for Bunny or not, but not having any upgrades is very scary. His units aren't going to have the +1 like they normally do. He's going to go double upgrades to try and catch up and close that gap. Oh, he's picking off these Zealots. Really nice. Close to 2-1. See, now that he's got a good bio ball and it's almost pure Zealot, this kiting is so delicious. Classic looking a little stressed there on camera, kind of glancing off to the side I am at him. How the heck can he stabilize from here? This is what I've said is Classic has a very clear weakness with his predictability. He's such a good macro player, but I do think to be the whole package, you got to be able to mix in a really vicious 4-gate blink to keep a Terran on their toes. And Bunny, I think, knew this was going to be a greedy defensive Protoss, and it was all about getting in there and surprising him. And remember, this is the Protoss map pick. You do not want to be dropping your map pick here as Classic at the start of this series, but it's not over till it's over. Storm's coming in. He's got a few High Templar, a few Immortals. 4th base seems out of the picture for him, but if he could land 1 or 2 good Storms, slow down the tempo of Bunny, he might be able to get back in this series. Storm's not ready. He's going to depower the Storm! Massive moves! The Widow Mines do a little bit of friendly fire. He's gonna go forward, and there's just no Protoss. Oh, he needed 15 more seconds to get Storm out. The Bio here doing crazy damage. Pylon number 2 goes down. No Storm for you. Oh, Classic's gonna be dropping game 1 on Taito Citadel. A big map. But he's not able to get the damage, and Bunny looking confident. Classic looking desperate. 3 Immortals and a Probe Pool. Not the situation you want against the Stim Bio army. He does actually clean up the last units there. Great Widow Mine, clears up a bunch of stuff. More Marines and Marauders shoving in. Bunny desperately does not want to give him time. Once again, would like to see Bunny pull back just a moment earlier. But you can see once he regroups, these Zealots are toast. Scans the left just to confirm. This is Bunny going just like he is only on 3 base, right? Like this is actually checkmate, yeah. That scan on the left, he was like, I just want to make sure I have my finger on the pulse of this game. I better double check. All right, Zealot's going down. The Immortal will fall as well. Zealot Archon trying to hang out, and Classic is going to have to tap out. A decisive game 1 for Bunny. Remember, it came off the 3 barracks. The 3rd barracks skipped the add-on for a while. He pumped a lot of Marines out of those barracks. And I think that double auto turret flank actually chained so much damage onto those Stalkers when normally they would have had a time to heal up and maybe heal on the battery as well. And that first push just did way too much damage. All right, guys, Classic in the bottom right. He's gone gate gas. He's looked around for some proxy locations, and we'll head across the map. Barracks gas for Bunny, who's looking very confident after that last game. I think Bunny looked pretty good against Maru as well, and there's a few people who said, why did you invite Bunny to this tournament, Pig? He hasn't been that active lately. He isn't grinding the online tournaments. I said, Bunny never really grinds the online tournaments, but he is practicing and he is very good right now. And he's had some really good performances in the last couple of PiGFests as well. So I felt like we just, we talked about it and we kind of said, we believe Bunny can give us good games. We asked him if he's feeling good, if he's in practice, and he said, I will destroy. I don't think he actually said those words, but he did sound confident. That was what I inferred from his broken English. And he looked good against Maru. Just got a bit too greedy. Got caught by that cheese in the final game. Some would call it a technical pressure build from Maru. Cheeses are a lot more gambly if your name's not Maru and you're not so good at transitioning off of them. My man. That's yeah. We're talking about the expansion rate of bases with the current resources. That's a big part of that discussion, Siege Tank Data. 100%. 100%. Pig, why can you show weapons on stream? Oh, you talking about the gun show? Yeah, I've been lifting lots of weights, man. Lifting the StarCraft scene. Ugh. Probe does take a few hits. Twilight Council in the wall again. Hard to get out of this base. I think and then you can just turn and run. You've already seen the Twilight, right? Oh, he baits the Shade Council. He's like, this is my base now, idiot. Hey, he might get a probe, maybe. I think he can get out, right? Oh, no, he can't. Nope. Needed to just confidently run past a little bit quicker earlier on. Does lose the Reaper. Starport's on the way. He saw the Twilight go down. I don't know if he actually clicked on it, though. Who said that you shouldn't invite Bunny? Well, they were saying there's 1 or 2 people who said they're like, oh, I don't think he's playing anymore. And I'm like, just there's players who grind weekly cups like Hero and Clam, but Bunny prefers to save up for the bigger chances. We'll see how he can do here. Obviously, facing Maru into Classic is kind of drawing the short straw if there ever was one. I would not be disappointed in Bunny if he goes out here. Of course, he's got an extra life right now, though, so the pressure is much more on Classic, who's going to go for an almost completely tight wall, just a single space opening. Bunny also got top 6 in PiGFest 6, guys, which was a huge performance. Oh, you know what I said, guys? He never 4-gates blink. 4-gate blinks. Classic heard my words. He's like, I gotta put some fear in this kid, man. I gotta get over there. And there's a pretty big area in this main that you can blink up into. Not to mention the natural is so wide open. There's so much area. Like, you put a tank here, you can just blink across and snipe it. So he's gonna go 4-gate blink. We'll see if it's like the Max Packs variety where Classic builds a 3rd Nexus before warping in Stalkers on the front. Because Max Packs does like a pretty quick 3rd with his 4-gate blink. Hero sometimes commits just as all in as possible. Medevac's going to go to the left. Ooh. Medevac's dancing around. So Pig, outside of PiGFest, what are the best chances for tournaments this year? Well, there's a billion mid-sized organized tournaments. Ton of Wardy tournaments. Maestros, TKL, and the French guys have said they're hosting another event. There's the Bulgarian StarCraft leagues. I think the FEL in Poland are going to be running some more events. There's so many mid-sized events. There's your Cheesadelphias. Hopefully we see another Stellarfest in Canada. There's a lot of these events. There's just no big single circuit or world championship, but hopefully something in that nature that we can kind of call the biggest event of the year comes around. Ooh, Stalker's blinking back. Classic, gonna take out the bunker. Sacrifice the Adept for the first Widow Mine, dodges the Widow Mine. The tank count is good, but they're not quite in position. Bunny has enough units to hold this, and he hasn't taken catastrophic damage yet. He's lost a bunch of things, but it's like a Widow Mine, an SCV, a few Marines in a bunker, not the end of the world. Stalkers are about to go, Classic! Commits in, but then he realizes, okay, I don't think I can blink into that many Marines and 2 siege tanks. So Auto Turret goes down as well. This could get really bad for Classic, but he gets out just in time. He's only lost 1 Stalker, 1 Adept. Excellent trading, 500 resource advantage. He's going to rotate left, try and get in the main base. 3rd tank for Bunny, should be able to siege here just in time. But Bunny, what are we doing? Bunny, you've lost track of the Stalkers for like 30 seconds, bro. Oh, you can't just be moving out right now. Big mistake for Bunny. This is a huge misstep. Not being pre-sieged. Massive mistake. Could have already had two tank shots off there. He will save Stim, but he loses combat shields. And it feels like Bunny's so focused on hitting his own aggressive timing that he forgot that against 4-gate Blink, you have to turtle for an extra minute. I think he wants to get over there before Storm's done. He realizes how narrow that timing is, but now he's going to have to go without combat shields, which does hurt. Still a tank and a bit of bio inside. The Prism is right there. He's going to drop a Zealot to take the tank shot, and then he's going to blink in. Look at this move, guys. Drops the Zealot, takes the shot. The Marauders go down, but the Stalkers can't quite get in range of the tank. Stim finishes! Stim finished just 1 second before it went down. Oh, man. And look at that. He even loses a Stalker, almost 2 from the high ground. And now Bunny's going to go. Pull the boys. I would pull the boys. I would just pull the boys and go. Is Bunny going to shove it? Because Storm's still 30 seconds out. Dude, Storm's a pretty quick upgrade. 80 seconds. And with Chrono, be as short as a minute. It is one of those upgrades that kicks in fast. And remember, it used to be massively handicapped because it was you can't have enough energy on those High Templar. With energy recharge every 45 seconds, you can get plus 50 energy. That makes a big difference. Is it going to be enough? I think it is. I think he's barely bought enough time. Classic's got Storm kicking in right now. Bunny with a beautiful pre-spread, though. Bunny's he's got to be careful. He should know that Psystorm's available. I mean, look at that setup. First tank takes the Psystorm. A bunch of Zealots will go down for it, though, which is not bad. He does move through the Psystorm. The tanks are going to inch forward. The tanks ranging this Protoss army. But Bunny is going to back away. 3rd command center is finished. He's not that far behind. He's got +1 weapons starting. So once again, it looks like Bunny's flavor of TVP right now, guys, is him saying, I need to hit a little bit harder and a little bit faster than everybody else. How the heck do you do that, though? Like, it's impossible. He said, I'm going to cut the engineering bay and the +1 out of my build. I don't think that's that important. I think the first timing hitting crisp and sharp as possible is more important. And then I'll go double upgrades 3rd command center Ghost Academy afterwards. I think this is actually really smart because you can tell it's giving Classic some real problems. Now, obviously, this game Classic's in a much better spot. He's on 8-gate. He's got his own +1 on the way. He's building Immortals and Storm, starting at 4th Nexus. It is going to go to a later stage of the game where I do think Classic is quite favored, but I love that Bunny's got his own special twist on the matchup. It reminds me of when a laser was skipping Evo Chamber in ZVZ and would hit these like shocking roach speed timings where you're like, how does he have so many roaches? Oh, the Storm drop on the bio in the main. That is a savage move. He does lose 3 Stalkers. Once again, he drops his High Templar on the ledge. Guys, what is it with Classic today in that ledge? He loves putting High Templar on that ledge. He's killed 19 Marines in total now. Oh, that's such a good move. Bunny is a little bit too slow to drop, to spread. He does have a Viking now, but he's got to get that Viking out here. Those tanks are really well positioned. I think he can survive. 4th command center comes in. He's got the armory, so he can go 2-2. Classic's only on 69 probes, so it's not that Classic's ahead on economy, but he's ahead on map control. Keeps his opponent busy with the Zealot drop, which is pretty promptly dealt with by... Oh, is he going to land Vikings on that? You know he is. No escape for you, buddy. Classic tries to run. Oh, he's going to escape. The Vikings will lift, but I think they might die. Oh, other bios thinking about stimming on top. Bunny getting a bit excited right now. Okay, Bunny does lose the, I think that was just auto turrets that the Raven threw down to try and save him. But now it's double Forge, second Robo Bay. This is where Classic just is going to beeline towards Colossus. And I think your goal is Bunny. There's a few options. One is, I mean, you have to go second starport, right? You're going 2-2. Kind of have to go second starport, try to get the fourth up, but he's actually going to push. Is this a good idea? Well, I think there's a window pre-Colossus where he's kind of favored. Hard for Classic to get a fifth up. It's hard for you to push through this amount of Psystorm, though, unless you sneak maybe do a Ghost Drop. Boost a Ghost in from the left, unload and EMP most of the High Templar. Classic's got such good vision. Look at this, guys. Ring of Pylons. Classic does not want to go out of this tournament unceremoniously. And I think when that 2-1 kicks in, he'll go for another Colossus, chrono it, and then a Warp Prism. It'll be a 3 or 4 Colossus timing. He'll probably have, I think, 8 High Templar. Yeah, he likes 8. 8 High Templar maxed on energy. And it's going to be a real test for Bunny if he can dodge the storms and defend. I think it's much easier if you go Liberators, but most Terrans play Viking Ghost. And when I watch Clem do it, I think it's superior because he makes no micro mistakes. And when I watch almost anyone else, I think Liberators is superior because it's a bit easier to survive this next stage of PvT. And yet he's not even waiting. I think he's got to get out of here. Crazy EMPs! He lands the EMPs on the High Templar. The ghosts do get taken down, but there's not much Psystorm left here. He does come out of the base of the Psystorm despite the good EMP. I think the Colossus are going to maybe toast his army. The Marine's not getting targeted though. Missed opportunity for Classic, and actually Bunny takes an excellent engagement deep on the Protoss side of the map. Defender's advantage be damned. He does not care. That is an excellent engagement. Bunny, 3,000 resources ahead, attacking in the stage of the game when all the top Terrans are just turtling and trying to survive. I mean, Bunny's always been a good aggressive Terran. I was kind of worrying as it went to this stage of the game that it just doesn't feel like late game turtley games are Bunny's forte. Bunny likes to be in charge, and he's found a way to do it. Wow. The delayed upgrade opening. It's just giving him such an edge here. Classic's not ready for it. Archon goes down there. It does cost an EMP. It's not free. I mean, long term, it's free. The Ghost will regen energy. How many Ghosts did he lose to the Colossus, guys? It was 6. They were at the front. So he wrecked the High Templar with EMP and the whole army, but he did lose 6 Ghosts because the Colossus beams hit them immediately. 3-2 upgrades started for both sides. Terran's slightly ahead with +2 armor now finishing. He's a full upgrade ahead, actually. It's almost pure Colossus High Templar. Stalker's trying to focus the Vikings, but they get caught a bit far out. He gets EMP'd again! Way too clumped up on his High Templar in Classic. Twice! He was completely safe in this game. If his High Templar were not clumped, I don't know if he's been playing too much against Terrans who are just turtling or what the matter is, but that was sloppy for Classic. 2 big fights in a row, all of his High Templar in a ball. Normally Classic is the guy who we compliment for keeping those High Templar spread out. But Bunny has just been applying so much pressure, and Classic's been making mistakes, and it's cost him. Because now Bunny keeps him stuck on 4 base. I mean, I guess Classic's taking the left, but good luck defending that. 4th base is established with the planetary fusion cores coming in, +3 weapons, more ghosts, more bio, more Viking medevac. I mean, you can rebuild Colossus all day, but the Vikings just keep trading excellently against them. Zealots and Archons defended on the left, on that right side by the planetary. Oh no, the Robos. You can't afford to lose the Robos, mate. No energy recharge available. Robo number 1 goes down. Gateway and Twilight are about to fall as well. Turrets destroy the Warp Prism in the main. Zealot Archon with a random probe intercept the rally. Landed Vikings joining the boys on the front here. It's not a big army here for Terran. And yet Bunny's fighting it out very well with that slight upgrade advantage. Very marine heavy, so that Colossus and the Storm should force him back. I think Bunny's going to have to put this one away. Waistband his army a little bit. Holster his bio. Ooh, losing a lot of units here. Careful. Careful, Bunny. He's always on that edge of being overly aggressive, and he gets punished pretty badly there. Loses a lot of units, but he finds the base on the left, and that's an easy snipe. Wait. He's committing? Classic's committing. Bunny goes in there. EMP's the High Templar. Kills the Colossus. That was an ill-fated recall. Classic felt like he needed the 5th base, but that was a terrible mistake. He could have dragged this game out and maybe won, but throwing away so much army there. And that was not the first mistake Classic's made in this game. Bunny's played an excellent StarCraft game. Classic having a bad day today. And it's going to go out in last place in Group A. I thought anyone could get second place in this group. Maru's such a favorite to get first place. But I didn't think Classic would be going out in last place. GG, well played. Bunny keeps his hopes alive in PiGFest 7.